can't remember the number one right now at the top of my head. I know that Gettysburg is number 3, but that it would also make sense that that the reason why I think my Dwendes are fayish, right, is the spiritual aspect that comes along with with the Dwendes. Not to say that there's not a spiritual aspect with Bigfoots or, you know, other types of cryptids, right? But with the Dwendes, they seem to have abilities that the other ones don't necessarily have as well.
Yep.
And so, yeah, and again, they also have I've never heard of a chill dogman, period, right? Like you know, I've never heard of it.
Exactly.
Yeah. But the Dwendes have personalities. So do Bigfoots, right? Like a lot of the stories I've been told is that some Bigfoots are aggressive, some of them are benevolent, some of them just leave you alone. But some of the Dwende stories I have is like people of like, you know, they clean your house for you. They do stuff.
Yeah,
they do stuff
it's like a Dobby, right?
Yeah,
Dobby
exactly. Right.
I just watched Harry Potter. So.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. So yeah, man. So that's what I think. So it wouldn't surprise. I think you're probably on something with that. With the different type of, you know, species that would be involved with the, you know, that would be in Hawaii, especially Samoan and Tongan, you know, because they have even going down into, you know, New Zealand and Australia, there's this 100, I think they call them the Maoris down there. I'm drawing a blank up the man. There's a spiritual aspect to everything in their lives, right? So their connection to the nature or whatever. So yeah, no, that's a great point. I'm definitely gonna look into that. I want to throw this at a couple of my friends as well. I might do an episode on it as well to get on that. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Resources,
networking, right? All right. So changing gears. All right. I'm shifting gears on you. Right.
Get the Jake break.
That's right. So Dogman, right? So
yes.
I know that, you live in Indiana, which is shares a border with Michigan, correct?
Yes.
And you have the Manistee National Forest up there.
Yeah, I'm like right next to a forest, but I know that there's a few that I'm like, I don't go outside. So,
yeah. So the Joe,
thank you.
You familiar with the Joe Barger incident up there?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so he encountered a dogman actually and shot and killed it, right? In the Manistee National Forest on it. So do you have any? So I want to shift it back to your to your local locale. You said you live in a small town out there.
Yeah.
And do you have any type of like local cryptid folklores or anything like that?
The closest one would be the mill race monster.
Oh, what is that? Yeah, I've never heard of that.
So it was like a little spat that happened in Columbus, Indiana, right. and now it's Mill Race Park. Right. So I'm trying to remember exactly, but it's like this weird looking creature thing that they supposedly saw like in a small time frame. And I mean, it was one of like the largest cryptid, like I guess posses to go find this thing. I mean, they're getting all the resources up, and these people are hunting this thing down. They never obviously caught it, but it's like a weird thing that's like over by, I think it's the river maybe is close by. I haven't dug too far into it. I just know that it's there, and I know that they did a lot of like people looking around, and like I just keep thinking, you know, pitchforks and torches, but I'm sure it was a little bit more advanced than that. But that's what I'm picturing in my head. Right. But I'm going to cover it at one point, and I want to go down there because it's not that far away from me. I think I could probably make it a day trip.
Yeah.
But that's probably the closest. I know that we have Puckwudgies up north. We have Brown County National Park that's down south, which is over by Columbus. And I know there's the, you know, Bigfoot and that kind of stuff, but I don't feel like there's a whole lot like specific to the state.
So yeah, that's actually pretty cool because I'm thinking about doing. I get sent a lot of information, right? It takes me time to filter out because some of it is like, all right, yeah. So you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, all right, yeah. Like, people are like, I see a UFO every night. Yeah, that's not a UFO. Yeah, all right, man, you're good. Can I get a T-shirt? No, you can't get a T-shirt. Leave me alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Do better. But I do believe that the cryptid, paranormal, especially the conspiracy theory topics have become less and less taboo, mainly because of the fiduciary that our own government seems to try to get away with. That people will be like, all right, so yeah, okay. But I do believe that the areas, each state, I won't say probably each state, but like each area, geographic area, I'm starting to see has its own legends type lores that go into it, right? And
we just talked about this.
Did you really? Yeah.
I was talking to somebody about what was it we were talking about? Some kind of bird or something.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I was like, you can't report the same cryptid everywhere. I was like, it's kind of like Bigfoot. You got Yeti and skunk ape and, you know, regular Bigfoot or whatever. I'm like, they're going to adapt to the climate that they're in, or they're not going to be able to sustain their livelihood. You can't have, say, a cryptid in, you know, icy stuff that's going to be in the Sahara. You know what I mean? Like, you have Mongolian death worm. You're not going to find one in Alaska.
Right.
It's just, to me, I'm like, it's just like, it's animals.
Yeah.
You're not going to have the same type of bird everywhere. You're not going to have the same type of dog everywhere. It's just, to me, it is very much correlated with the area and the geographic location and how things function in the environment.
Yeah. And so I would think, and that's a great point too, to add some context on that. You could find literally when you go out to every, you know, I won't say every state because I haven't been to every state, but I know that California, Washington, Oregon, Oklahoma is a nasty cryptid place. I don't know if you've ever done any research down there. That's where all the mean ones live, the people eaters down there, right in Oklahoma, right? Especially LaFleur County. But even when you slide through down to Mississippi, Louisiana, the Appalachian Mountain Range, West Virginia, even another place I slept on for a while, underestimating the level of cryptid fiduciary, was actually Ohio, right?
Yeah.
So
Loveland.
Yeah, I was like, wow. Yeah, I was blown away, right?
Frogmen.
Yeah. So I mean, like, Ohio used to be a state, man. I kind of dunked on like Ohio, like, man, please, nothing's going on in Ohio. But now I'm like, man, a lot's going on in Ohio. You know what I'm saying? So,
What's crazy is it does seem like they're kind of like in clusters.
Yeah.
So you have like the Massachusetts area is like heavy.
Yeah.
Cryptid wise. And then you have this is the other thing I like to consider too that I find interesting. So you have Michigan, Ohio, that are very big clusters. Kentucky's really big. And then you have stuff out west, you know, California, like you said, Oklahoma. I believe Montana has quite a bit too, if I remember correctly, as far as like Wendigos and stuff. Oh, yeah. But to me, I find it interesting.
By the way.
Yes. So what my thought process was you have all these spats of cryptids, but then you have areas that are prominent for UFOs, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes they overlap, but sometimes they don't.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.